Every time I talk to people about the idea and how it's going to be implemented, they either said that's impossible or someone must have already thought of that. And the more I investigated it, the more it seemed that no, this is actually a unique idea. We're the first to have it, and it's incredibly powerful. Everyone has used the internet to make maybe a Skype call, and the video sometimes breaks up, the voice sometimes breaks up. That's packets being lost. What we do is we reduce the number of packets lost to about 1/20th or 1/30th of what it was before. So a dramatic improvement, and what that means to the end user of any application is much better quality, much better performance. I spent 4 years talking about how something couldn't be done. I went to trade shows, conferences, I was speaking at these, telling people you can't possibly fix IP networks. The internet's always going to be low quality. And then I had an idea that maybe that's not true. I talked it over with my co-founder, my wife, and said, you know, I think this is something we really should do. If we can fix the internet, there's a lot of opportunity there. It was literally lying in bed one night around 11 o'clock, and suddenly it came to me like a flash. All these pieces that I'd been exploring, the markets I'd seen before, the pieces came together and said, oh, that's how you do it. And I lay there for about 6 hours, putting the blocks together. And the same thing happened the next night. I made those big blocks into smaller blocks, and eventually in my head I had the whole system. It was going to work. And that was just a really good day, because I had proven that you can technically do it. It was a very rough prototype, but it was something I could demonstrate. We started a company, and 2 years later, there was an opportunity in that we had a potential investor who said, we'll invest if you are CEO. I actually thought, well, you obviously need someone who can raise money. We have tough decisions to make about which market we have to go after. We have to find a person who has that sort of gut feel of this is the right one, and talked about it, thought about it, and no, an experienced CEO, so much better in many respects.
Well, actually, I helped them find that CEO. And kind of fast forward, the CEO had to leave at the end of 2008 for personal reasons. Matt and his wife, who's also co-founder, Alison O'Shaughnessy, reached out to me and said, you know, would you come in and at least help us either find another CEO or would you consider it?
It's worked out very well, is we stay out of each other's kingdoms. I'm the technology guy, and Martin recognizes my skills there. I recognize Martin's skills in any of the business decisions, and I fully trust him, he fully trusts us.
Matt piqued my interest, he taught me a lot of this stuff, and we went out and we said, well, let's try and find a market.
We ended up having at the beginning, I think, 13 identified markets across multiple geographies. And so the next challenge was, okay, I'm never going to be able to pitch this. Yeah, I have 13 markets. One, it's impossible, or you know, someone's already done it. It's the usual stuff. So we had to focus.
When I started in 2009, they were focused on gaming. So I said, okay, I'll bite. Where's the customers? Where's the pipeline? There's a difference between we make it better and I'm willing to pay for it. So that one was out. So the next one was voice over IP. So we could show that we could reduce packet loss by 10 times, and the size of the number of calls you get through would be way better. And people were kind of shrugging, well, the users just don't seem to care. We haven't raised our financing yet, so we're living on fumes here.
We came into places where personally it was a very financially straining time. You live like a student, you can't go on vacation, you can't buy new cars. It literally is everything goes into the company.
We said, well, let's try this video conferencing thing. And the sales executive at the time did a bunch of cold calls, and bam, we were hitting.
These are not like the video conferences of the 1980s, early 90s, where it's a tiny little picture and people can hardly see who's there. These are high definition, very nice pictures, which makes them very sensitive to packet loss.
We're able to come in and allow a business or a consumer to buy the cheapest available network, and our capability will add quality to those connections.
We make the picture appear as if you're actually talking to someone across the table instead of across the country.
It's just exhilarating to go into a customer that is, you know, like a Cisco or an Adobe or, you know, Microsoft, and you wow them.
I've certainly gravitated always towards small groups, small companies, where my efforts have a huge impact on the success of that company.
You can do all the plans in the world, and we've got lots of them here. We've gone to conferences, we've talked to customers and prospects and had consultants and false starts, accidental opportunities that present themselves. And you got to be very flexible and you adapt as these things kind of hit you.
We're not bound by what we've decided yesterday. We can quickly change direction, which I think is a very important thing to have.
Remember when we were in Singapore, or remember where we were in France, or remember when the hard drive failed, or remember when the office burnt down, or we got sued, or whatever it is. And you look back at those and you realize the journey was as interesting as anything, and the battles that we fought together were really fulfilling. And scorecard might be your bank account now, but that's just money.